In 1799, a young and ambitious military leader named Napoleon Bonaparte took control of France, quickly rising to power and setting the stage for one of the most transformative and destructive periods in European history. The Napoleonic Wars. These wars, which spanned from 1803 to 1815, were fought across the continent, reshaping borders, societies, and economies, and ultimately leading to the rise and fall of Napoleon's empire. Napoleon's vision for a united Europe and his unyielding ambition drove him to pursue military conquests on an unprecedented scale. His rise was fueled not only by brilliant strategy, but also by a series of political and military failures that preceded him. But what was it about Napoleon's character, his vision, and his strategies that made him such a powerful force? What allowed a man from Corsica to conquer much of Europe and become Emperor of France? And how did this same man, once seen as invincible, end up facing his downfall? In this video, we will explore the causes of the Napoleonic Wars, the key battles and turning points, and the eventual collapse of one of history's greatest empires. What led to the rise of Napoleon Bonaparte, and why did his empire crumble so spectacularly? The Napoleonic Wars didn't begin with Napoleon alone. They were the culmination of years of political and social upheaval in France. The French Revolution, which erupted in 1789, led to the overthrow of the monarchy and the rise of radical political factions. The revolution was a turning point not only for France, but for the entire European continent. The revolutionaries' challenge to the old order and their demands for liberty, equality, and fraternity alarmed other European monarchies, who feared that similar revolutions might spread to their own nations. By the time Napoleon emerged on the scene, France was embroiled in internal strife, with radical factions vying for control, and external enemies were gathering against it. After the execution of Louis XVI in 1793, Europe's monarchies saw France as a threat to their very existence. The wars that followed, the War of the First Coalition, set the stage for Napoleon's rise. He saw an opportunity in the chaos. In 1799, during a period of political instability and military setbacks, Napoleon staged a coup and declared himself first consul, effectively taking control of the government. In 1804, he crowned himself Emperor of France, and the Napoleonic Wars began when Britain, Austria, and Russia formed a coalition to stop his expansionist ambitions. The French Revolution had ignited a firestorm across Europe, and Napoleon's rise symbolized the hope of some and the threat to others. Napoleon's early campaigns were marked by rapid, decisive victories that shocked Europe. His ability to mobilize and organize large armies, combined with his innovative tactics, made him a formidable adversary. The Italian campaign of 1796 to 1797 marked the first major test of his leadership, where he decisively defeated Austrian forces and secured Italy for France. This campaign also helped him gain popular support and military prestige. Napoleon's next major campaign, the Egyptian campaign of 1798, though ultimately unsuccessful, demonstrated his vision and ambition. He aimed not only to disrupt British colonial interests in the East, but also to expand French influence beyond Europe. The Egyptian campaign saw his troops capture Egypt, but was plagued by logistical problems and the loss of the Battle of the Nile to the British fleet. Despite the setbacks, Napoleon's propaganda painted him as a hero and visionary leader. However, it was Napoleon's most famous victory, the Battle of Austerlitz in 1805, that truly solidified his reputation. There, Napoleon decisively defeated the Russian and Austrian forces, cementing his dominance over Europe. Austerlitz, known as the Battle of the Three Emperors, was a masterpiece of military strategy, showcasing Napoleon's use of the battlefield to exploit the weaknesses of his opponents. Following Austerlitz, Napoleon created a vast empire that spanned from Spain to Poland, with his influence reaching all corners of Europe. But with great power came great challenges, and the Napoleonic Wars were far from over. As Napoleon's empire grew, so did his enemies. The coalitions against France were constantly shifting, but by 1812, the situation began to change dramatically. Napoleon's aggressive expansionism had created a powerful enemy in Britain who had long resisted French dominance. Napoleon's decision to invade Russia in 1812 proved to be a monumental mistake. The Russian campaign was disastrous. The harsh Russian winter, combined with scorched earth tactics and the vast distance Napoleon's army had to travel, devastated his forces. By the time Napoleon retreated, over half of his troops had perished, and the empire's military capabilities were severely weakened. This marked the beginning of the end for his empire. In the following years, Napoleon faced increasingly determined resistance from a newly formed coalition, including Britain, Prussia, and Austria. The Battle of Leipzig in 1813, known as the Battle of Nations, was another crushing defeat for Napoleon, further weakening his empire and forcing him to retreat back to France. By the time of the Sixth Coalition, Napoleon's position had become increasingly untenable. His empire was besieged on all sides, and the once invincible general now faced a grim reality. By 1814, Napoleon's empire was in ruins. Paris had fallen to the coalition forces, and Napoleon was forced to abdicate. He was exiled to the island of Elba, but his story didn't end there. In 1815, he escaped from Elba and returned to France, hoping to regain his power in what would become known as the 100 Days. But his brief return was met with renewed opposition from Europe. The final confrontation took place at the Battle of Waterloo in June 1815. Napoleon faced a combined army of British and Prussian forces under the command of the Duke of Wellington. The battle ended in a decisive defeat for Napoleon, leading to his second abdication and exile to the remote island of St. Helena, where he would die in 1821. Napoleon Bonaparte's empire may have fallen, but his impact on history is undeniable. His military innovations, his vision for a united Europe, and his determination to lead have left an indelible mark on the world. Thank you for joining us on this journey through one of history's greatest conflicts. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below.